Alright guys, we're back down on the river. Had to get out for an afternoon/evening session. I'm joined by Goldie. Jesse's coming a little bit later, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be fishing very specific tactics. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We'll also go over the rigs. I know I always say it, but we're definitely going to go over it this time. And you know, I've got my landing so far. You know, I couldn't wait. Oh, there's a bite. The line was literally in like what, a minute, and just had to run, but he dropped it. So here's what we're doing: fishing particles today. That in conjunction with pack bait. Like I said, we'll talk more about that after. But I need to get this back in there because I think that fish is still rubbing around. Put this back in real quick. So yeah, the line was only in a minute or two. There's a run. There. Are you serious? Are you serious? It literally, I felt the donk, and then I felt something else. Man, I just wanted to put it down in the pod. You know, sit back. Have a Gatorade or something. Oh, this is a dark, gnarly fish. I gotta get the net. What a warrior this fish is. Look at that. Big scars on him. Yes. He's still trying to swim down with the net. Alright, let's get the unhooking mat and take a look at this fish. Get a better look at the side better on this thing. Wow, this fish is so beat up, and scarred, and gross. What a gnarly old beat up warrior. A shredded tail, a mangled dorsal, scars down his sides, scars on his head. He's actually growing moss on his head, so I think we'll call this one Moss Head. But wow, I miss a take a minute after the line goes in the water. I recast, and while I'm holding the rod, it just screams off. Just unbelievable. I really hope that's a sign of how amazing this session's gonna be. And I really hope Jesse hurries up and gets here, because I don't want him to miss this. So let's get this fish back, let's get the line back in the water, and see what else happens. Alright, so to go with the theme of today, since the plan is particles and pack bait in particular, we got to mix up our pack bait. Now, there's already a couple of ingredients in here that I'm not giving away. That's top secret. I know we've gone over pack bait before, but lately I've been going a little bit more to the sweet side of things, rather than just kind of mixing everything. You know, last time I fished in this location, we used more of a fishy, peppery kind of flavor. It actually smelled like Christmas stuffing. It was fantastic, and the fish loved it. I ended up getting 4 out of 5 fish that day. But today, with the kind of sweet particles we're going to be using as our hook baits, and also the free offerings that we put out, we want to stick with more of a sweet pack bait, and really get those fish kind of grubbing around in there. So as I said, I put a couple of small ingredients in there. You can see a little bit of that, maybe. So there's already some oats mixed with a little bit of sweet ground bait that I put in there. And then these are more or less the rest of the ingredients that I'm going to be using. So to start off, one of our wet ingredients, a can of sweet corn. Can't go wrong, have to have sweet corn in my pack bait mix. If I don't, it's probably going to be cream corn, but still it's the same thing. This is going to get into the rocks where we're fishing, and they're going to have to really dig for it. It also matches very similar to what our hook baits are. Next, chickpeas. And my phone is going off like crazy. So, we got chickpeas, we got some oats, and we've got a little bit of ground bait in there. We're going to mix that around, put the juice in and everything. Just to get that started. It's going to be messy, but the oats and the ground bait are going to start to soak up that moisture. So next, we've got some Tandem Baits Stick and Method Mix. This is kind of the hemp flavor. This I find really good. It's got like broken down pellets and ground bait. You know, a lot of different shapes and sizes in that. So again, it gets right into those rocks, and those fish have to really dig for it. You see, there's all kinds of like pellet and stuff like that in there. Mix that in. So as it stands right now, your pack bait is great if you wanted to just fling it out, but it's not going to stick to anything, even with a little bit of oats that we got in there. So next, we've got some Dynamite Baits Spot and Bag Mix. This is the sweet flavor. It actually smells kind of chocolatey. I don't know what's in it. A lot of pellets, a lot of ground bait, but it's really, really sweet. So sweet, we're not going to put too much in here, just enough to kind of enhance the flavor of what we're doing. That's about it, 4 or 5 scoops. The amount that we're making, and that's going to go a long way. I don't know if you can see that, but right now it's just a big mixture of tiny particle and large particle. Nothing really to bind that very well together. So that's where the next thing comes in, and that is the Monster Carp Tackle Pineapple Crush ground bait. Now, this little bag is enough for like a single session. You just mix this with water and it's ready to go. It's dynamite, absolute dynamite, and I've used it straight out of the bag. But when I'm going to be here for a longer session, say as much as 6, 7, 8 hours, you know, one bag's not going to go the whole way. So I like to add this to my mix to make sure I get the flavor that I want, the textures and the consistency that I want. You know, one bag mixed with the rest of your ground bait mix, your pack bait mix, will really, really last you a long time. I usually have 2 or 3 of these with me, so after maybe 6 hours, if I've really been hammering the fish, we've been putting the bait out, and we've run out, I have one more bag ready to go and make another mix, or just use it straight out of the bag. So this whole bag is going to go in. So far, this smells absolutely amazing. You can't smell it where you are, so I'm the lucky one. And get all that mixed up. And again, we've got some moisture in there with the particles we put in, chickpeas, a can of sweet corn, but now your mix is going to start to look really, really dry. It's still not quite thick enough to make it a pack bait, even if we wet it. But it's starting to look more like what I want it to look like. A lot like different shapes, different sizes of particles, plus the the powders and the ground baits really get in there and make those fish have to work for what's down there. You know, what you're putting out for free offerings, that makes it last longer and keeps the fish in your swim longer. So now we need to add some water, and you want to add this bit by bit. If you add too much, then it's just going to get too sloppy. You either have to wait for it to dry out, or make sure you have plenty of extra, just bags of oats to kind of add bit by bit to thicken it up. A little bit of water goes a long way, so we'll start with that. Just get back to mixing. Keep in mind, the whole time you're mixing, it's not just going to turn ready all of a sudden. You're going to mix it up, you're going to have to let it sit for a while for it to soak up any moisture. Not long, a few minutes, but you just have to be patient to make sure you get it the way you want it, so it's going to stick around that method feeder or that cage feeder or like we're doing today, just right around our lead. So we're going to make it a little bit stickier and just go right around the lead. You know, fishing in the rocks, I don't want a method feeder or a cage. It's going to have that chance of getting stuck in the rocks easy. So already I can form it into a ball, but it's still breaking up pretty easy. Not too bad though, but that's really, really close. Now, just to make more of a binding agent, I'm going to add a little bit more oats. Not too much. A little bit more water. You know, after all, it's not just me fishing today. I've got cameraman extraordinaire and carp fanatic Goldie with me, who's going to be putting a line in shortly. And Jesse will be joining us in a little bit, and he'll be using this. So there's going to be 3 of us working out of the same bowl of pack bait. And that's why you would have seen earlier we put just some loose maize out, you know, along the lines with what we're putting on, like I said, as our hook baits. And we want to keep everything similar. So that's nice and sticky. Starting to bind together. Probably let this sit for 5 minutes. I'll check it again. If I need to add more moisture, I will. But pretty much that's the mix. That's what we're going to be packing around our legs to help get that bait down there and get those fish rubbing around our hook bait. So yeah, you can mix and match your own kind of mixes and flavors that you want. But the more items you have in there, the more hook bait options you get, as well as, you know, you're going to keep more fish grubbing around. One might want chickpeas, one might want corn. You know, they might not eat the other. So you're going to have a lot more fish swimming around, poking around your bait, and you know, it just ups your odds by having more variety in there. So there you go. There's the pack bait. Big fish. The night for everything. Big fish. Setting up pod cam. Yep. Well, I am absolutely gutted right now. That was a big fish. You know, it was back in minutes. You know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and it absolutely just screamed off again. And the fish went straight out, straight down, and I lost the whole rig. Every little detail. So it was a bit of an expensive fish, but you know, I got to get back in there, so take advantage of the opportunity to talk about what I'm actually using for a rig. Now I will give you a heads up. Cameraman Goldie has his line in right now. We're expecting it to peel off at any moment, so if you see us running, the camera just flops over and goes nuts. Yeah, there's action happening. But to let you know what I'm doing, using the helicopter rig. So I've got a piece of lead core leader, a spliced lead core leader, down to a nice gripper lead, and the helicopter setup basically just works like this around the leader with the hook link. Today, you know, I got lazy. I didn't want to tie my own rigs. I just wanted to get out and fish. So we're using some pre-packaged, pre-tied rigs. The ones in particular that we're using today are the ESP pre-tied rigs. Put one up on the screen or something like that, because the one I have in the package is still buried in the bag. But you know, the same hook link as you normally see me tie myself, But this one, it was just, you know, like I said, I've said it in videos before, always make sure you have a few pre-tied rigs ready to go, just in case. So it's a stiff boom section to a split shot, and then a piece of supple braid at the end, a little bit of shrink tube, and then, like I said, we're using the particles. So I've got a piece of floating corn, and then I'm using the Monster Carp Licorice Lust Maize as my hook bait. And so far, it is getting the bites. Now, because we're also using pack bait, I'm actually just laying this down so that the hook link kind of lays across the gripper lead, and I'm molding my pack bait in a big ball right around this setup. That eliminates any chance of tangles. Goldie, there's your line! Oh! You were supposed to hit the switch down, and there goes the fish. Okay, we've got... Goldie forgot to turn off the bait runner.
Yeah.
Wow, we've all done that, I'm sure. I know I have. So we're gonna have to untangle that and get his rig back. But before we get to that, you're gonna need to pull that line in, just a heads up, because you've still got a bait on the ground.
Yeah.
And a fish can pick that up. But to show you how I'm connecting the lead core to my main line, I've done an overhand loop knot. Very simple, just nice and wide to be able to pass the rig through. I can't believe you lost that fish. Okay, so we've passed the loop through the top, the spliced part of the lead core, and pull it right through, and run it right down to the bottom of your rig. And you're passing your lead, your hook link, and everything through that loop in the mono, or braid, whichever you're using as your main line. And just gently prevent it from tangling, keep it smooth. And the connection you want to be very careful with, okay? I'm not sure how well this is going to show up, but you want it to just kind of lay together evenly and just tighten down a little bit. Again, sorry if it doesn't show up very well. Maybe another day we'll do a more in-depth video of specifically how we put these rigs together and some of these knots. But that's the rig, using the 18-pound test Witchwood DPF mono, or fluoro-coated mono. It's the purple line that absolutely disappears even before it hits the water. That's the rig. Goldie will be using a different rig in a moment because we're going to have to redo his whole setup. And yeah, I'm going to be teasing him until Jesse gets here so that you know, he doesn't feel left out. He's now part of the Bird's Nest Club, I guess. You know. So I'm going to get my line in. We're going to get him untangled. Jesse should be here literally any minute, and we're going to get into some more fish.
Much prettier fish than yours is.
Yeah, it is much nicer.
A lot smaller though.
But he had a hell of a run.
He did. He went.
All right, let's get him back, buddy.
Okay. You were right there. They hit hard here.
Yep.
Went up here, they hit that lead bed.
Yeah, he's a little bigger than he was last time.
Yeah, it's a nice fish.
So that's 2 for me and 2 almost for you.
Yeah, thanks. But it was a double take.
It was a double take. We caught it.
That was good. It's a big head, eh?
Yeah.
Gnarly mouth on him, but man, that's a strong fish. All right, we're gonna get that fish back.
Yep.
apart. Need a new net. There. I got somebody else's line tangled up all over my rig too, so I don't know if this fish has been caught before or if he just took me through a snag, but I'm glad to finally get another fish in. And it looks like PodCam has finally shut itself off, so no more runs on camera. But let's get this fish unhooked and taken care of. How is my alarm beeping when there's nothing in it? So finally, after several lost fish, these fish are just brutes and they're using the current to their advantage every chance they get. Finally got another one in. So I'm slowly catching up to Goldie. He was supposed to be filming, but we let him fish anyways. That was a mistake. But Jesse's finally arrived. So now we've got another angler, another chance to get more fish in. It's going to be a lot of fun. This fish actually did have another rig tangled up around it, so I'm glad we were able to get that off. Some braided line with a sinker that's actually wrapped around one of its pectoral fins. So we undid that. He's going to be a lot better off without that. So, let's get another fish. Just got here. What has it been in the water? 3 minutes? Yeah, I think so. Film.
Look at that, Jesse with the biggest one so far, and he just showed up. Not bad.
Too shabby?
What did that fish take?
What do you take? What do you mean?
What were you using?
It was the banana corn. Badass corn, I forget it.
Badass banana?
Yeah, yeah. Here for 5 minutes in the water.
Yeah.
Rocking and rolling.
That's a solid 12, 15 pounds. It's good fish, buddy.
Yeah, just solid.
5 minutes. You want another one, don't you?
Oh yeah. That's what I came for.
All right. Let's get that fish back. Oop. Nice. Good job, Jesse.
Good stuff.
That was an overly dramatic cast, but we're not fishing far out. One of these rods, like they're not even giving us false beats right now. One's gonna scream at us.
Goldie gets a knock, you get a fish. If I do it wrong. Want some banana juice? Yeah, no, because I'm not banana. You get
Not expecting that.
I'm kidding.
Just shooting the breeze of days long ago.
Every time I take my line out of the water, all of a sudden when you're...
That's what happened last time. Last time we were here, when you had your line out of the water, one of us got a point. Except you.
Right.
The fishes feel rocks for more than the fish. Little. Get him over the unhooking mat. my alarm. I gotta change that battery. Nice little guy. Crazy for such a small fish. It was an absolute face melter of a run. It's been a while since we got a fish in. It was nice to actually see that peel off. We'll get this one back, and I think the sun's gone down enough. We'll put the lantern on and settle in for a couple hours of darkness. Hopefully the big boys will come to play. Nice fish. Didn't you just recast that like seconds ago? Yeah. Oh, sounds like a beast, bro. Crash. You like?
Oh.
Did it break?
My rig, yeah.
No.
That fray though.
That sounded like a big fish, man.
That was
You got it right there.
yeah.
That rig broke. Check maybe 10 feet of line. Oh man. I swear I was just with the light, I didn't touch it.
That light's right in my eye.
Fish is going right. Way up there.
Ah! Got him. Somebody saw your rig though.
That fish went way up into the current. It came off. It was a good fish. Not a big one, but it was a good one. I'm tangled. Jesse's out because he just had a run that broke him off. Goldie just went back in because he was tangled up. This line, I just cast it back out. It wasn't out 2 minutes. Just the time it took you to cast, I guess. And bam. So I'm gonna put another couple pieces of more on the rig, get it all settled back into place. We got about a half hour left, maybe 45 minutes left before we gotta be out of here. So let's try and get another fish. It's gotta happen. That last bite of the night.
Well, the last fish tonight. I lost the bite.
Last fish, you're right. All 3 rods just screaming right now. See that? Digging in there. Be really careful though. Oh God. Not on it though. Well, I think it's pretty much wrapping up this session. We've already done the slow pack down. Goldie's line's out, Jesse's line's out. Really hanging on to that last bite. You know, we managed some fish. We lost a lot. A lot of break tops and the rocks and the snags. A few fish got into the weeds and the hook pulls. It's part of fishing. You know, of all the times I've fished this spot, I've never lost any tackle. We lost a few fish. You know, today it was just one of those days. But we did well. We had fun. Lots of good chatting back and forth. You know, we stuck it out, hoping for a good night bite. We had a few fish on, but unfortunately they come off as well. So really now it's up to next time. You know, who knows where we're going to be or what we're going to be chasing, but sure it's going to be a fun adventure, as always. So for this evening, we're going to wrap it up. Maybe we'll get one more bite, but I doubt it. So, until next time.